And it's a huge business behind it all as well. You know, the housing industry that's connected to the government as well, through property tax, and to the banking institutions for their loans and the interest that they accumulate. And basically it's kind of like hello everyone, this is Ronan Blue, just taking my daily walk here today. And today's topic would be on, would selling your home be the best financial solution? So many of us have that dream home that we work so hard to achieve, and that's part of the American dream, to have that dream home. And some people, when they choose their homes, they choose it more on their emotions, other than what they can actually afford, and they end up buying a home that's well above their means that they cannot afford, and month after month after month they have to continue paying those mortgages. So they actually live a lifestyle within the pure definition of paycheck to paycheck existence. Like they actually recommend that you only spend about 25% of your monthly income on the household, but some people spend way above that, and they don't factor in, when they're buying their home, of the maintenance that it costs to maintain their home as well, and other hidden costs that occur over the years. And sometimes it becomes the best decision for people to choose to sell their dream home and to downsize their lifestyles. And it's a choice that really drastically changes a person's or a family's economic situation almost immediately when that's done. But there are those who purchase a home even when they still have their debts and other things. You know, they have loans, such as their student loans or a large car loan, or the credit card debt that gets racked up on a monthly basis, but yet they still choose to buy a home that's still way above their means. And it's all about, yeah, the American dream, how you're constantly feel that that's what leads to happiness, having all of those materialism around you, and to basically have that status of a large home. But some may argue with me. Some may say that they buy the large home because they have a family. But you don't necessarily need all of that square footage to, you know, occupy your family. Because if you look at the homes in generations previous, the homes weren't that big, right? And they had a family of 5, you know, 3 kids, 2 parents, and they lived perfectly fine in these smaller homes. So where's the argument there when saying, oh no, I buy the larger home so I can, you know, have a better life with a larger family? But you don't really need that square footage. And if you think about it, in most of the cases, besides the case now with the pandemic where everybody's in lockdown, but previous to that, you hardly ever spent time within your home anyways. You were either you know, spent a couple hours at night watching television after work, and then you fall asleep, and then you go to work with your car. You know, that's the routine for the majority of people, the people who don't work remotely from home anyways. But the point is, you hardly spend time in your home. Right now, a lot of people are spending a lot of time because of the pandemic, but that's temporary. I believe that's going to change in the near future. But my point is, you hardly ever, you don't actually spend so much time. So you're not using that square footage to the fullest. And on top of that, you're also paying for more utility for keeping that air conditioner going, as well as the heater. So it's kind of a money pit in a lot of ways. But we're constantly bombarded with home ownership being part of the American dream. It's the definition of being successful. Getting a college degree, getting that home and having children and having 2 cars. We're constantly being bombarded with that. And even the banking institutions go as far as saying home ownership is considered good debt. But the thing is, my perspective is debt is debt. It's just what it is. You can't say it's good or bad. They say college debt is also good debt as well, but debt is debt, right? I'm not saying getting an education is bad, but I'm just saying it's getting quite expensive, the tuitions nowadays, and it's getting expensive to buy a home nowadays, and the average person is not really able to afford that home anymore. So that American dream, I think it's slowly becoming a myth, maybe during this pandemic especially. And there's also that huge emotional attachment to your home as well. Well, obviously, people, especially males, like to keep their territory safe, or they want to keep their territory comfortable. They want to keep their loved ones safe. Makes sense, right? So that's why you hear men always using their garage to build things and to renovate their home and make their wives happy and their children happy. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, but you can still have that emotional attachment with a smaller home, right? You don't necessarily have to buy that square footage. But you may also think that you and your partner should work harder, get part-time jobs to be able to afford that mortgage, or maybe even to save up for that down payment before you purchase that home. But you'll be putting constant pressure on yourselves as well. If you get that part-time job together with your full-time job, you'll hardly ever see each other again, probably. But some people actually, stay in their rental properties for long enough so they can save with that mindset of buying that larger home. But some people actually regret it later of buying that larger home because of how much it has punched a hole in their finances. I mean, the home is the largest purchase that you can make in your life. But I actually read of a couple in the FIRE movement, financially independent, retire early, who actually decided to kind of go against the norm of buying a larger home. And they used the extra money that they made. They had 2 children actually, and they worked hard in not getting a home, a large home anyways, and staying in a smaller dwelling to achieve financial independence so they can spend more time with their children and to homeschool them. So that was really a decision, a personal decision that they made, and they were super happy with that decision. So what they basically did was it took them about 10 years to achieve financial independence. I mean, they weren't completely retired, they were semi-retired, but then during that time period they had so much more time on their hands to spend time with their children as well. And that's another thing too, when you purchase a large home and you have to force yourself to get those larger paychecks, right? And you have to get a part-time job to afford the mortgage, And a lot of people actually are strangers to their own children because their parents spend more time on trying to acquire more income to support that lifestyle of the larger home, and they hardly know their children because they're always working. And but that family, what was interesting about them is they were working towards having to spend more time with the family. Instead of having that larger home, they decided to focus on their hearts instead, to be with their kids, right? To give them a life more than what they had, to enrich their lives. And I think by getting to financial independence rather than to buying that larger home, probably brought that to them. So that's another benefit as well in choosing not to buy that larger home. I mean, renting in itself could save you $800 to about $1,200 a month. And it's true that it probably, you know, is money that you're basically giving to somebody else. But as a temporary solution, it's best to always rent for, let's say, 5 years and start from there. But then if you do have a large enough down payment, I highly suggest you do not buy a larger home. So for those reasons I just mentioned before. But whatever the case may be, you know, a lot of people, you know, the facts do show that people go into this crazy debt over a span of 30 years just to live a lifestyle of that larger home. And when you think about it, does it really matter? So if you are in a situation where you're in a lot of debt and you want to cut down your expenses, I mean, it's really hard to detach yourself from your emotions towards the house that you purchased. But it might be the wisest decision for you to sell your home and downsize and think more with your heart, like the couple I just spoke with, who decided to not buy that large home and to gain financial independence to be able to spend more time with their children. I mean, there's a bunch of societal pressures out there in buying that larger home, and some people may question you of your decisions, but in the end you want to watch out for yourself in the longer term. I mean, for us, we're happier. I mean, we do have 2 homes, but with the intent of renting them out, and we made a great decision there. That turned out to be a big part of the reason why we're living the lifestyle we are today. And maybe that's another thing, your own dwelling right now that you have. If you do have extra space, extra room, maybe you can think about renting it out as well. Some people don't like living with strangers or other people, but if it comes down to it, if you really want to keep that dream home of yours, you have to make those sacrifices of either downsizing or being inventive with the space you currently have. So there are options out there, but the bottom line is, yeah, I mean, you got to think with your heart as well on what you want to do in the future. And I don't really believe that the home is what brings ultimate happiness, you know, because I still believe that the American dream was achieved by somebody else. You know, that's somebody else's dream. It's not my dream. I want to achieve my own dreams, right? I want to tell myself what makes me happy. I don't want society society to tell me what will make me happy, you know. So, and it's a huge business behind it all as well, you know, the housing industry that's connected to the government as well, through property tax, and to the banking institutions for their loans and the interest that they accumulate. And basically it's kind of like self-imprisonment, you know, putting yourself in imprisonment in front of that desk for years on end, decades on end, for you to be able to pay that mortgage eventually. So that's how I see it anyways. I don't really want to be in that world. You know, I'd rather be time rich, because I believe time is way more important than people may think. And people realize too late actually how important time is. So you can never get it back. It's worth way more than any amount of money you can accumulate. Well, I think I have my vlog here today. Tell me what you think of my thoughts of how selling your home might be a very good decision in the comment section below. Just to downsize your life and to free up a lot of money that could go elsewhere, that could potentially make you happy. And yeah, just tell me about the points I talked about. If you like this vlog, please don't forget to give me a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell for more of my coming content here. Thank you for watching my vlog. Be free, gain wealth, and travel far.